Uncertainty, fear, and doubt. These are the words that characterize my condition right now. I have so much uncertainty, fear, and doubt about my immediate future, my long term future. And my mental health has been severely diminishing these last few days, especially, as I've come to recognize that despite coming so far compared to where I was, I still just have such a long way to go. So much more to come. And I'm not sure what's to come exactly, but I do know how I feel, and I'm going to just share a little bit about what I've been feeling, especially now today as it's my 27th birthday. I've been thinking a lot about what happened in college, my junior year specifically, where I started experiencing delusions and hallucinations. I experienced them to such a high degree, I felt the only coping mechanism at the time was to drink heavily, which likely intensified my eventual mania and forthcoming psychosis. It was a 6 month long ordeal of dealing with these delusions and hallucinations, and people saw me have this mental breakdown. Lots of people. I was living in a fraternity house, having the time of my life at first. But things went on a downward spiral so quickly, and there was no coming back. I became increasingly energized, felt like I didn't need sleep any longer. And it was in that state that a lot of the delusions started to develop. And it's just so frightening to me today about how this all transpired. I'm not going to spend this whole video talking about that experience because I've talked about it in many other videos. I would recommend, if you're interested, checking out the video. I lived in a frat house while manic. That's where I break down the experience of what it was like and what I went through. Definitely recommend that. But towards the end of the semester, I, of course, got expelled because I got into a fight. I got into a fight with one of the former best friends of mine off campus while moving out. And this is while I was in a state of psychosis. I was having delusions at the time. And I ended up getting arrested by gunpoint after that fight we got into. I was in jail for 5 days, and it was horrifying. Being in a manic state in jail was horrifying. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Not all that glitters is gold. In this case, nothing was gold at all whatsoever. There was nothing gold about it. I lost my mind. What if it happens again? What if I do in fact finish my undergrad degree? What if I graduate summa cum laude? What if I find a great paying job? What if I go to law school and then once again I just lose my mind? I would then lose everything once again. What would I have left? After all that I went through, the embarrassment, the guilt, the shame, and now I deal with highly diminished levels of confidence, lots of doubt about what my future holds. One of the worst aspects of the mania and psychosis I felt was that I just felt so distanced from that which I used to care about. I felt like I had nobody. I thought that these beliefs were grounded in reality and corroborated by factual life events, but that couldn't be further from the truth. But it was my truth in that psychotic state of mind. I really can't stress enough how thankful I am that I was able to restore my relationships with family. 'Cause they mean the world to me, and I only got one. And I understand how fortunate I am to have family in my life that care. Not so many have that privilege. Whether you're poor, middle class, rich, there's so many out there who don't have families they can go to, and to have that for me, it's been a huge support. And, of course, everybody has a different story, and for some people, their family may be someone else. That's not biologically related, but that's not what family means to me. Family is you stick together no matter what. And despite what I was going through, my family stuck with me. So, but right now, depression's just been consuming me. I'm worried that I won't get into a college. I'm worried that I'm not going to get all this weight off. And since being expelled by UMass, I've just really been hesitant to take actions that could result in rejection. And I have to get out of that position because if I'm to go anywhere, I'll need to overcome that fear. I need to be willing to embrace the uncertainty. If I don't embrace the uncertainty, I'm never going to make any progress. I'm never going to get out of this rut. I'm never going to go back to college. I'm never going to go to law school. I'm going to accomplish nothing while my mom is still here. And that is the most profoundly important thing to me, is making sure that I accomplish as much as I can while my mom is still here. My manic episode, I got hospitalized twice in a 6-month period. October 2021 and again in February 2022. Once involuntarily, and then the other one sort of voluntary, not quite, I'll get to that. The involuntary hospitalization was for 5 days. It was, I believe, October 27th or October 28th it started, and it went on to November 3rd-ish. So I was in the psych ward for 5 days. And my condition just further deteriorated. I said so many embarrassing things on social media at the time because they let us have access to our phones on a limited basis. And I was just embarrassing myself before, every friend, family member, acquaintance I had made since high school. People from my high school saw this breakdown. People from my college saw this breakdown. My fraternity, my former monk trial team, they all witnessed this breakdown happen. I became talk of multiple communities. But it is what it is. I'm very proud that I've been clean from alcohol for years now. I haven't been consumed by that. I know that I could be in a much more dilapidated state right now, that with alcohol, what I'm dealing with would be even more severely debilitating. So I don't miss being an alcoholic. I mean, I guess I'll always be an alcoholic because I know I can get addicted easier than others. And that's another thing. As I accumulate more stress going forward, whether it be returning to college, accepting more hours from work in my new position, accept higher positions, go to law school, which coping mechanisms will I utilize in order to cope with that stress? I can't go back to alcohol. Alcohol is not going to work for me. Some people can balance it and they use it to alleviate stressors on a, periodic basis, but I can't control it. I just don't know how to moderate my drinking, so I can't drink at all. And that's the commitment I've made. And there's been many successful people in this world, people who were at one point drinking heavily and to the point where it's a disorder because it disrupts their lives on such a significant basis in so many different facets. Well, these people have such strength and resilience. And for them to rebound from something like that and then do something with their lives, that inspires me, that keeps me going. I'm just ambivalent right now. I've just been thinking a lot, and I've had so much racing thoughts, and I've thought about past traumas of my life a lot recently, and there's been many of them. And that's one thing I haven't done on my channel in great detail, is talk about my traumas. And I'm thinking about getting into that. more closely now. I've only kind of brushed over it, but I want to get deeper into it because I think that it would be highly informational. I think a lot of people would resonate, and I think it could help me with what I'm dealing with right now and get into a better position. So I'm going to be starting this new series where I dive deep into traumas that are still affecting me to this day. It's going to be called Tyler Talks Trauma. I hope that you'll check it out. It will be in the same format as my current videos where I'm just talking to you as it is, straightforward from the heart, as always. That would be the format. But that's coming soon. It's my 27th birthday, and even though I'm in a really rough spot, I'm grateful to God for giving me life. Shout out my cat Smokey, who's sleeping in the back there, for staying for the duration of this entire video. I'm impressed. And it's always a pleasure to have him. Love you all. Love, light, and tranquility to everyone. Peace and take care. Tyler Adolfo, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe.